Sia and David Guetta, that's Titanium. My guest of the day is on the phone.
94.3.
This is Good Morning Mumbai with HrishiKay.
It's our CEO's Working From Home series, and pleased to welcome onto the show today a captain of the industry who heads Perfetti Melle India. That's Managing Director Rajesh Ramakrishnan. Now, this is a brand that in its portfolio has endeared itself to us with Center Fresh, Center Fruit, Alpenliebe, Happy Dent, Mentos, Alpenliebe, Jutz Jelly, and Chupa Chups. Rajesh, welcome onto the show, and I hope and pray that friends, family, extended family are all fine and doing well during this lockdown, please.
Hi Hrishikesh, thank you so much for having me on the show. Yes, happy to let you know that all family, friends and all my office colleagues are doing well, and I hope the same with you too.
Absolutely. Now, we start off by just talking about the brand. I mean, like I said, over the last couple of decades plus, you really endeared yourselves to us with your portfolio of products. It can't be easy through this lockdown. I know that you have a manufacturing facility in Manesar in Haryana, another one in Uttarakhand, which is Rudrapur, and of course Chennai. So obviously the first question would be, is manufacturing hit, is distribution hit right now, and how you responding to the business as far as the COVID lockdown is concerned?
Yeah, I mean, like any other business, post the lockdown, our business has also been hit. So our factories were shut down, our distribution network was shut, and pretty much everything was closed because the trade was also closed. But over the last 2-3 weeks, the government has slowly started relaxing some of the exemptions for the manufacturing, and we are slowly getting our manufacturing started. So all 3 factories have started some limited operations at this point of time. Our depots are also slowly opening up, but the distribution and the general trade at this moment still continues to be closed, and we need to see how things progress post the 14th of April.
Rajesh, for me as a media professional, I love that you really thought out of the box as far as the brand is concerned, in particular as far as your media presence is concerned and your advertising. So Alpenliebe in particular, Happy Dent, all the brands. Do you personally keep a close eye on the branding, the communication and the advertising? And if so, do you enjoy that aspect considering your vast career even before Perfetti?
Yeah, so 2 parts to it. One, I mean, I'm a sales and marketing professional as well before I moved into general management. So marketing is a passion, and I'm very close to my heart as well. So I absolutely enjoy marketing and anything to do with brand and advertising. But at the same time, having moved into a general manager role, I'm also very mindful that give space to the marketing team and the advertising agency to do their work, which they are best at. And what I've been blessed with is we have a fantastic marketing team and a great bunch of supporting advertising colleagues from both Ogilvy and McCann, who come up with some absolutely creative stuff which really captures the imagination of the consumers. So I think that combination has been working really well for us over the last 25 years.
Now, I know it's like asking a parent which one of their children is their favorite, but I'm just talking in terms of data and numbers. What really has been doing excellently in India over the last 25 years amongst all of them, Center Fresh, Center Fruit, Alpenliebe, and your wonderful portfolio of brands, what has endeared itself to Indian families and children in particular?
So if you look at it, I think Center Fresh is the oldest brand, so to speak. In fact, we launched in India with Center Fresh. So Center Fresh has been here for 25 years now. So in that sense, obviously it's the oldest and one of the most well-loved brands. It featured in Brand Equity's top 100 most trusted brands as well. This year, in fact, we celebrate 25 years of Alpenliebe. So Alpenliebe has been around for 25 years now. Last year was Center Fresh's 25th year. So in that sense, Alpenliebe and Center Fresh are stalwart brands in the portfolio. One of the most loved brands is of course Center Fruit because of the kind of product it is and the kind of advertising we've been doing over the years. And the latest addition in our portfolio is Chupa Chups. Again, just about 5 years old, but again capturing the imagination of the teens and the youth in a huge way. So each brand is special in its own way. And not to forget brands like Mentos and Happy Dent, which have given us iconic taglines in the past, like Dimag ki batti jala do, or the Happy Dent ad where they smile and it lights up the area around them, right? So these are iconic ads with really iconic taglines. So each of them is special in their own way, if I can say.
Wonderful. Back with Rajesh Ramakrishnan, Managing Director, Perfetti India, in just a bit. Enjoy the sounds of Lionel Richie now, and don't stop the music. Only on 94.3 Radio 1, One World, your station. My name is HrishiKay. The Chainsmokers with Paris. On my CEO's Working From Home series, it's Rajesh Ramakrishnan, Managing Director, Perfetti. More chat.
94.3.
This is Good Morning Mumbai with HrishiKay.
Okay, now let's come to what's happening during COVID-19. I know as a brand, you really feel responsible towards all your employees. Activities for the employees, how you're trying to make them feel secure from both an HR level and other levels. Talk about what's happening.
So, one of the first things when the lockdown happened is that we are all getting used to a new reality, right? So, one of the first communication that I sent out to everybody is, look at this and treat this as an opportunity. A lot of our colleagues travel an hour or an hour and a half to get to work every day. And now you pretty much save and discover that you have 3 extra hours in your hand, right? So, while office work will continue, I think this is a great opportunity for everybody to look at a few things. One, cleaning out the house and do those stuff that you always wanted to do but you kept postponing, right? Number 2, it's about saying, can I rediscover some of my old passions and hobbies? I hear a lot of people saying that, oh, I used to do this in my college days, I used to do this in my school days, but I don't get time for it now. Can I rekindle some of those passions? Third, to discover something new for yourself. I mean, you might have always wanted to dabble in something, but never again found the time to do it. So I think this provides an opportunity for everybody to really recalibrate oneself by reflection and then come with something different that you wanted to do, but you never got the time to do. So that's one part of it. The other is, as an organization, we have also been trying to facilitate a lot of these things. So one big area of focus is learning. So through LinkedIn Learning, which we have offered to all our employees, we've told them that, look, if you're not able to go to the market and sell the products, or if you're not able to go to the factory to work, even if you're sitting at home, can you use that opportunity to develop yourself so that you become a better person and a better professional? So projects like LinkedIn Learning comes very useful there. The other bit is, for example, we have also offered online cult classes to our employees, because staying physically active in these days of lockdown is absolutely critical, and we know that physical activity also leads to mental agility and emotional well-being. So that's another area that we have been focusing on quite a bit as well. And the third is, we have something called Bureau of Serious Fun within our organization. So what we do is, we periodically send out tips on what you could do to keep yourself engaged. Also, we ask people to write in as to what they are doing with their family in these lockdown days, and that's something that we share with the entire organization. So you really come across some excellent fun stuff that people write back saying, this is what I'm doing with my family, somebody's cooking a dish, somebody is teaching his son chess, and so on and so forth. So these are some of the things that we've been doing. And the last one thing I would also add is, on a daily basis, I connect with 10 random colleagues of mine over a Microsoft Teams call. And really the objective of that call is just to ask people how they are feeling, checking in on them, what have they been doing over the course of the last few days with their family, and really checking in and making sure that we still stay connected in these difficult times. So I think these are a few steps that we've been taking as an organization.
That's wonderful. Now, I'm going to flip this question on its head and ask about you personally. I mean, it's wonderful that you're motivating all your employees, but what's your daily timetable like? And what is the skill that you've acquired during this lockdown, looking at it from a positive frame of mind?
The good part for me is my days are pretty full and pretty busy. So typically wake at about 6:37, start with 7:30 to 8:45 yoga class. That's something that I religiously do, and I completely enjoy doing that. 9:30 to 6:30 pretty much goes off in work calls. It's one call after the other. And then in the evening, again, I spend about half an hour for exercise, 7 to 7:30, and then maybe catch up on some Netflix between 10 and 11 in the night. And I also try and, so I stay here with my wife and daughter. So we at least make sure that meal times, we catch up together as a family. So that's my typical routine. I'm also passionate about photography. So I've been working on a photography project on the side. So that's something that I try and take out some time for. And reading is something that I've picked up. So I try and read a little bit every day.
Excellent. We'll return with more from the inspirational Rajesh Ramakrishnan, Managing Director, Perfetti Melle, India. But first, it's 50 Cent and he's in the club. Right here on 94.3 Radio 1 One World, your station. My name is HrishiKay. It's former One Direction and Niall Horan with On the Loose. My CEO's Working From Home series is gathering some major mojo. Rajesh Ramakrishnan, Managing Director, Perfetti India, is who I'm catching up with today.
94.3. This is Good Morning Mumbai with HrishiKay.
Now, your favorite business leaders, captains of the industry who inspire you, they could be from India, they could be from abroad. Talk to us about them.
Two names that come to mind. One is Indra Nooyi. I had also the pleasure of and the privilege of working with her when I was in PepsiCo. I think amazing woman. If you read her biography, she came from very humble beginnings but rose on to become the chairman of PepsiCo worldwide. What I really admire and what I get inspired by her is her balance between performance and purpose. So she is absolutely ruthless when it comes to business and what we need to do. But equally, she is very mindful of the environment, of diversity, and all of those kind of issues which are considered sometimes softer issues. So her ability to balance between performance and purpose is something that absolutely inspires me. The other person, again, I had the privilege of interacting and working with is Mr. Harsh Mariwala. I also worked in Marico for a couple of years. Again, one of the things that I deeply appreciate about him is his approach to innovation. His view is always that let's try out a few new ideas, let's prototype them. Some of them work, some of them don't, but that's okay, and that's the only way to progress. So, and that's a philosophy that has sort of stuck with me. So these are two people I can say have had a deep impact in the way I approach things.
And you yourself are quite inspiring for anybody who works with you, your colleagues, your teams, because you're an award-winning photographer. For those of you listening to this broadcast, Rajesh's work has been featured at Cannes. He's also been published in several publications in India and outside. And also your traveling, your expeditions. I believe you're an avid mountaineer. So I'd like you to spend a couple of minutes just talking to me about your photography and all that you've conquered thus far in terms of mountaineering, please.
Sure. I mean, photography is something that I picked up when I was in Bombay about 15 years ago. And I used to consider myself to be a very left-brain guy. I'm an engineer. But what photography really exposed me was the fact that, it's how you look at things and how you see things. And really opened up my right side of the brain as well. And what photography has helped me is to observe, pause, be mindful of what is there around you. So over the years, I have done a few kind of things. One is I shoot a calendar every year to raise money for charity. And that's something that I do through my photographs. So I put them to good use. Of course, I've had a couple of exhibitions in India and outside. And the other thing that I do, I have an 18-year-old daughter. So 5 years ago, we started this initiative called My Daughter is Precious, where we went to underprivileged areas in Bangladesh. I used to live there, and take Polaroid pictures of father and their daughter and tell the father that their daughter is as precious as their son, to treat her well and give her a good education. So that's something that we started 5 years ago and we still continue. It gives us immense satisfaction that we are able to make a difference to people's lives. So that's a little bit as far as photography is concerned. Again, trekking is a passion that I picked up very recently. I mean, I always loved traveling, and I've been traveling pretty much every year for the last 20 years or so. But trekking is something that I got introduced to in 2016 when a friend of mine said she was planning to go to the Everest base camp, and I've never trekked before. And I said that sounded like an interesting challenge to take up. So we went on this 12-day trek to Everest base camp, and it was so beautiful in terms of just going within, discovering yourself, and just being with nature and like-minded people that I said I will do this once at least every year. So subsequent year I went to Kilimanjaro, which was of course a much tougher trek but very, very fulfilling. And then in 2019 I went to Annapurna base camp. So that's something that I've been doing once every year with a small bunch of like-minded friends, and it is something which I really enjoy and look forward to.
Fascinating. The adventurous Rajesh Ramakrishnan, Managing Director, Perfetti, shall be back on my CEO's Working From Home series. Listen to our artists of the month now, Ellie Goulding and Love Me Like You Do on 94.3 Radio 1 One World, your station. I'm HrishiKay. That's Maroon 5 with another one of their melodic worldwide hits, Won't Go Home Without You. Rajesh Ramakrishnan is on the telephone line. Managing Director, Perfetti, Melle, India. Their portfolio of brands includes Centafresh, Centafruit, Alpenliebe, Happy Dent, Mentos, Alpenliebe, Judge Jelly and Chupa Chups. A last leg of conversation on my CEO's Working From Home series.
94.3. This is Good Morning Mumbai with HrishiKay.
Given your hectic mountaineering, photography and work, do you find time to read, Rajesh? Or in the past, have you been a voracious reader? I'd like you to pick some books which are eternal favorites and something that you'd recommend our listeners to read, please.
Sure. To be honest, I'm more a visual guy than a voracious reader, so I wouldn't call myself a voracious reader. However, I mean, I've obviously been reading various books over the course of time. The one which I'm reading recently, which I quite like and which I can very connect to in a very personal level, is Ikigai by Garcia and Albert. And it's a simple book. It's a very practical and useful book, which really talks about how can you get to happiness in life, and using the Japanese way of being happy, which is really about saying have a purpose in your life, connect with like-minded people, be in a social context, make sure that you eat right. So very simple tips, but very profound and useful. And that is something that I've been recently reading. I also read, Mahabharata for kids, right, by Rupa Pai. And first I thought it was a book for kids, but to me, it was a book where Mahabharata was explained in such a simple and lucid manner, and I also could draw some lessons from it into leadership and what we do at work. So those are two books that come to mind which I've read in the recent past.
Rajesh, you graduated in engineering from BITS Pilani, and then you did your master's from XLRI in Jamshedpur. Both just fabulous venues for rock and roll and concerts. I remember during my college days attending some great rock concerts at BITS. So I'd like to ask you to jog back your memory to your college days, your grad, your post-grad days, a music concert that you've attended that you really enjoyed.
Yeah, so interestingly, from BITS Pilani, of course, we used to have Oasis, which was one of the biggest, cultural festivals of those times, and there used to be some really fantastic bands which used to come and play there, and we used to really enjoy that. But again, in the last, I would say 10-15 years, I have again developed this huge liking and passion going for concerts around the world. So some of the concerts that stand out are the ones which I saw: U2 in Amsterdam, Eagles in Dublin, Dire Straits, Pink Floyd in Bombay many years ago. And one particular concert which also stands out is this was done by the kids, where we used the concert as a platform to raise money for our initiative of My Daughter is Precious. And there was some really fabulous young talent which came and performed there and blew everybody's mind, and they did it for a good cause as well.
Now, before I sign off, we talked about your brand's footprint and the manufacturing facilities and what kids like. Also, there is a whole brand of your products which is very popular with adults. So I'd like you to just concentrate on that aspect, because often what happens with brands like yours is, people turn around and say, oh my God, it's laden with sugar and things like that. How safe is it for adults to consume, and how are adults enjoying their experience with Perfetti?
If you look at it, I think the way we approach brands is that we say, what is the meaningful role that the brand plays in the life of the consumers, right? And the good news for us is our brands are consumed by everybody from kids to people who are 65, 70 years old as well. And we have offerings to different age groups and different sets of the society. So, brands like Happy Dent, for example, also come in sugar-free versions. So if somebody would prefer to have a sugar-free product, they have a choice there. Or the brand that itself has a benefit to offer, which then appeals to a wide age group. So for example, Center Fruit is all about mood transformation. So if I feel a little low and I want to get my mood to ting-tong, so to speak, I then have a Center Fruit. Or if I'm looking for fresh breath, I have Center Fresh. So these are universal needs which cut across age groups, and therefore in that sense, actually if you look at it, our products and brands are consumed by people across age groups. The important thing is to make sure that they play a very meaningful role in the life of the consumer, even as they give them fun and joy.
Rajesh, this has been an absolutely fascinating conversation. Thank you very much, and I wish you, everybody at Perfetti Van Mill India, all your employees, a healthy life, even post-COVID-19. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Hrishikesh. It was a pleasure talking to you, and wish you all the same, and stay safe and take care.
Let's do some Taylor Swift and her Teardrops on My Guitar. Only on 94.3 Radio 1 One World, your station. My name is HrishiKay.